One of the first things you need to understand about personal value is that people rarely value what they can reach without any limits. When something stays constantly available, the mind starts treating it as ordinary. This is exactly why your time loses its worth when you hand it out carelessly. If anyone can contact you whenever they feel like it, if every text gets an instant reply, if every request gets a yes, and if every person can pull your attention without any cost, you're slowly teaching them that your time barely matters. You might think that being available makes you valuable. You might believe that always helping, always answering, and always showing up proves you're loyal, generous, or important. But there's a real difference between being generous and being endlessly reachable. Generosity is something you choose. Constant availability turns into something expected, and the moment your availability becomes expected, people stop being grateful for it. Notice how quickly people get used to having access to you. At first, someone might feel thankful when you help them out. They'll thank you for the time you gave. They'll recognize the effort behind it. But if you keep doing the same thing every single time they ask, eventually that favor stops feeling like a favor at all. It just becomes normal. Then the one time you say no, they act like you've done something wrong. This is how your value quietly slips away without you even realizing it. Your time isn't just the hours on a clock. It represents your attention, your energy, your focus, your experience, and your opportunities. Every hour you hand over to someone is an hour you can't put towards something else. When you burn your attention on pointless conversations, unnecessary arguments, endless notifications, and people who add nothing to your growth, you're not just wasting time. You're spending a resource you can never get back. This is exactly why you need to become selective. You don't have to answer every message right away. You don't have to accept every invitation. You don't owe anyone an explanation for being busy. You don't need to make yourself available just because someone assumes you should be. There's real power in living a life that doesn't revolve around responding to everyone else. When people realize you have priorities, they start understanding that your attention isn't unlimited. You have work to finish, skills to build, goals to chase, health to protect, relationships to nurture, and a future to create. Your life shouldn't be an open door that anyone can walk through whenever they're bored, lonely, or need something from you. This doesn't mean turning arrogant or purposely ignoring people. It means setting boundaries around how available you are. You can still be kind without being constantly reachable. You can help someone without becoming their permanent fix. You can care about people without letting them swallow every bit of your attention. The deeper idea here is scarcity. What's rare gets noticed. What's unlimited usually gets taken for granted. If you're present everywhere, your presence stops meaning anything. But when you're deliberate about where you show up, who gets your attention, and what actually deserves your energy, your presence starts to carry real weight. Picture two different people. One is always reachable. Everyone knows this person will answer, show up, help, listen, and bend whenever asked. The other lives a more structured life. They respond when they're able to, they guard their schedule, and they say no when something doesn't fit their priorities. Whose time do you think gets more respect? The answer is pretty clear. Your goal isn't to make people chase after you. Your goal is to stop chasing after everyone else. Once you stop giving unlimited access to your time, you make room to build the traits that actually make you valuable. You get to sharpen your skills, strengthen your discipline, and become someone hard to replace. And that naturally leads to the next level of value, becoming someone whose presence matters because of what you bring, not simply because you're hard to reach. Your time becomes expensive the moment you stop giving it away like it's worthless. There's a mistake a lot of people make when they want respect. They demand it before they've built anything worth respecting. They act distant, speak with unearned arrogance, or try to look important, thinking that a superior attitude alone will raise their value. But people eventually see through that. You can't build lasting value by pretending to have it. You build it by becoming useful, capable, disciplined, and hard to replace. The world doesn't reward potential forever. At some point, that potential has to turn into actual ability. Think about someone who's always talking about what they're going to accomplish. They announce their plans, describe their big ambitions, and tell everyone how successful they're going to be. But when the real opportunity shows up, they don't have the knowledge, discipline, or consistency to actually deliver. Their words might grab attention for a while, but attention isn't the same thing as value. Now picture someone who quietly builds a rare skill instead. They study when no one's watching. They practice with no applause waiting for them. They tackle problems other people avoid. They stay reliable even under pressure. They don't need to keep announcing how important they are because their results speak for them. That person becomes expensive. Why? Because replacing them is genuinely hard. This is the real meaning behind becoming valuable. It's not about demanding a higher price for your presence. It's about developing traits that people can't easily find somewhere else. Your knowledge, your judgment, your discipline, your creativity, your emotional steadiness, your communication, your experience, and your ability to solve tough problems can all become sources of real value. The rarer your combination of qualities, the less you need to chase after recognition. This idea stretches far beyond careers or money. It shows up in relationships, friendships, leadership, and how you see yourself. Someone who stays emotionally steady during chaos becomes valuable. Someone who can hold on to confidential information becomes valuable. Someone who can be trusted to follow through becomes valuable. Someone who thinks clearly while everyone else is panicking becomes valuable too. None of these traits require you to beg anyone for respect. They earn it naturally. This is exactly why you should stop obsessing over how people see you and start focusing on what you're actually becoming. Instead of asking, how do I make people think I'm important? Ask, what can I develop that makes my contribution genuinely important? That single question changes everything. If you want to become hard to replace, get excellent at something. If you want your opinions to carry weight, build real knowledge. If you want people to trust you, become someone consistent. If you want your presence to actually matter, stop showing up empty-handed. Bring insight, bring competence, bring solutions, bring calm, bring something that genuinely improves whatever room you walk into. Value gets created through contribution, and contribution demands sacrifice. You can't become exceptional while spending every free hour chasing entertainment. You can't build mastery while constantly hunting for approval. You can't develop rare abilities while letting every distraction hijack your attention. Becoming valuable means choosing your long-term growth over instant comfort again and again. This is where self-control ties directly into personal value. Someone who can control their attention learns faster. Someone who can control their emotions makes better decisions. Someone who can control their impulses stays committed to hard goals. Someone who can handle going unnoticed for a while can build something meaningful long before they ever ask for recognition. Don't rush to prove that you're valuable. Build real value until proving it becomes pointless. And remember, being valuable doesn't mean thinking you're better than everyone else. It means understanding what you actually bring to the table and constantly sharpening it. Humility and excellence can absolutely exist side by side. In fact, the most valuable people often feel little need to announce how great they are because they're too busy refining their own abilities. When you become useful, dependable, disciplined, and rare, people start treating your presence completely differently. Your value rises when your abilities become hard to replace, not when your ego becomes hard to tolerate. There's a hidden price to being too easy to please. When you constantly say yes, accept every request, put up with every behavior, and shape-shift just to keep everyone comfortable, you might think you're building strong relationships. In reality, you might just be teaching people that your standards don't really hold any weight. The moment someone realizes you'll sacrifice almost anything to avoid disappointing them, they start expecting that sacrifice from you as a given. This is exactly why becoming valuable takes more than sharpening your skills. It takes building real standards. A person with no standards is easy to access because there are no real conditions attached to their attention. They will show up every time they're asked, agree every time they're pushed back on, forgive any behavior thrown at them, and stay reachable even while being treated badly. Over time, their generosity stops standing out because everyone around them has simply gotten used to it. The issue was never kindness itself. The issue is kindness that has no limits attached to it. You can still be generous without letting people take advantage of you. You can still be understanding without putting up with disrespect over and over. You can still be flexible without giving up on what you believe in. The real difference lies in the fact that you get to decide what you offer and what you refuse to accept. Think about what happens when someone keeps canceling plans on you at the very last second. If you keep accepting their excuses, keep shifting your schedule around, and keep staying available no matter what, you're sending a message even without saying a word. You're telling them your time can be interrupted with no cost attached. But when you calmly show that your time actually matters, and you stop rearranging your entire life around someone else's flakiness, the whole dynamic shifts. Your standards end up teaching people how they're allowed to treat you. This isn't about controlling anyone else. You can't force respect out of someone. What you can control is how much access they get to you. When someone keeps acting in ways that go against what you stand for, you can pull back your involvement. When someone always wants your attention but never gives anything back, you can stop offering unlimited access. When someone keeps crossing the same line, you can create some distance. A boundary that has no consequence attached is really just a request. You don't have to make a big announcement every time you set a boundary. Sometimes your actions speak on their own. You simply stop showing up for situations that keep shrinking who you are. You stop justifying why you deserve basic respect. You stop bargaining with people who've already proven they don't care about your limits. This is exactly where so many people get stuck because they're afraid of being disliked. They think that saying no will make someone angry. They think being more selective will get them labeled as selfish. They think refusing to tolerate disrespect will get them accused of changing. So instead, they keep sacrificing pieces of themselves just to hold on to relationships that only felt comfortable because there were no standards in place to begin with. But stop and ask yourself what exactly you're protecting. A relationship that only works if you keep abandoning yourself isn't stability at all. It's dependence wearing a different name. You actually become more valuable the moment your yes starts to mean something. If you agree to everything, your agreement barely carries any weight. But once people realize you actually think requests through, your acceptance starts to matter. Your attention starts to matter. Your time starts to matter. This is basically the psychology of scarcity, just applied to your personal boundaries. That doesn't mean making yourself difficult on purpose. Don't play games or pretend to be unreachable just to get someone chasing after you. That's not real value. That's manipulation dressed up as confidence. Genuine value comes from having a life, standards, and priorities that stand on their own, separate from what other people demand of you. Once your standards are in place, you naturally become more selective about who gets your energy. You might still help someone, but it's because you chose to, not because you were scared of how they'd react. You might still forgive someone, but forgiveness doesn't mean handing over unlimited access again. You might still love someone, but love was never meant to require putting up with every single behavior. You can understand what someone's going through while still refusing to let their struggles but become an excuse for repeated disrespect. The stronger your standards get, the less you'll ever need to announce your own worth out loud. People start to understand that being around you comes with an expectation of mutual respect. They realize your time is limited, and your energy isn't something they get to drain without thinking twice. And most importantly, you start respecting yourself enough to walk away from anything that keeps making you feel smaller. Stop trying to be easy for everyone to hold on to. Instead, become someone whose time, attention, trust, and presence carry weight, not because they're handed out freely to anyone who asks, but because they're given with intention. There's a strange rule about human attention that keeps proving itself true. People tend to value what they can't have right away more than what's always sitting there waiting for them. That doesn't mean you should play mind games, vanish on purpose, or try to manipulate someone into chasing you. It means understanding the real psychological gap between being available and being scarce. When your attention is always on tap, people get comfortable using it without ever thinking about what it's actually worth. But when your attention is focused, limited, and given on purpose, people start to see it as something earned rather than something owed to them. This is exactly why you need to stop chasing attention in the first place. Someone who constantly hunts for validation ends up handing all their power over to other people. They check who's seen their message. They wonder why nobody's replying yet. They keep reaching out to people who barely show interest back, and they twist their own behavior just to stay noticed. Their focus is always pointed outward, hunting for proof that they matter. But the harder you chase attention, the less that attention ends up being worth. Picture someone who keeps texting a person who barely ever responds. At first, they might convince themselves that persistence proves how much they care, but eventually, the whole thing turns one-sided. One person keeps chasing. The other person just decides whether or not to bother replying. The one doing the chasing has already given up the balance of power because now their emotional state hinges on someone else's reaction. The answer isn't to turn cold. The answer is to point your attention back toward your own life. Build something worth focusing on. Sharpen your skills. Take care of your health. Strengthen your finances. Read more. Keep learning. Create things. Work hard. And spend time with people who genuinely appreciate you. Chase goals that keep moving forward, whether anyone notices them or not. Once your life feels full, you stop treating someone else's attention like it's the center of your existence. That shift changes how people experience you completely. You're no longer constantly begging to be seen because you're already wrapped up in something meaningful. You're no longer forcing conversations because you've got other things pulling at your focus. You're no longer desperate to prove you're interesting because you're actually becoming more interesting through everything you're living, learning, and growing through. This is exactly where healthy scarcity starts to show up naturally. You don't need to manufacture any mystery. You just stop giving everyone endless access to you. If someone keeps ignoring your texts, You don't need to send 5 more after that. If someone keeps blowing off plans without any regard for your time, you don't need to keep running after them. If someone only reaches out when they need something from you, you don't need to stay endlessly on call. Pulling back shouldn't be about punishing anyone. It should simply be about facing reality as it actually is. There's a deeper lesson buried in all of this too. Once you stop chasing attention, you start finding out who genuinely values you in the first place. Some people only stick around because you're the one always initiating. The moment you stop carrying the whole relationship on your back, the connection just fades away. That fading can sting, but it also hands you valuable information. You learn exactly who's actually interested in you versus who simply got used to your effort. This is why staying quiet can sometimes reveal far more than any confrontation ever could. Don't announce that you're stepping back. Don't post something dramatic just to make someone wonder where you went. Don't vanish purely to provoke a reaction out of them. All of those moves still center your attention on the other person. You're still trying to control what they think and feel deep down. Real independence looks completely different from that. You simply get busy living your own life. Your attention becomes selective because your goals require it to be. You show up less often because you've got somewhere meaningful to be instead. Your conversations become more intentional because you no longer need constant stimulation to feel okay. Your relationships become healthier because you're no longer begging anyone to take part in them. People start noticing the difference eventually, not because you forced them to miss you, but because you finally stopped squeezing yourself into spaces where you were never truly valued to begin with. The most powerful kind of scarcity isn't about making yourself hard to reach. It's about becoming so committed to your own growth that you no longer need to chase anyone's attention just to feel like you matter. Stop begging the world to notice you and start building a life that naturally earns your own attention first. The highest form of personal value isn't just about being hard to access. It's about becoming genuinely hard to replace. Anyone can fake being unavailable. Anyone can stop replying to messages, create some distance, or act like they're too important for regular people. But fake scarcity never lasts. Eventually, people figure out whether there's actually anything real behind the image you're projecting. If you want your presence to actually carry weight, you need to build qualities that are genuinely rare. And that starts with mastery. Pick something that's actually worth becoming exceptional at, and then give it enough focus that your skill starts to set you apart from everyone else. Most people stay replaceable because they scatter their energy across too many distractions instead of truly mastering anything. They begin many things, quit the moment progress gets hard, and keep searching for something that feels easier. Their knowledge stays surface level, their discipline stays inconsistent, and what they contribute stays average. You cannot become valuable while staying average in every direction. You need real depth. Build a skill that actually solves problems. Learn to express yourself clearly. Learn to think clearly even under pressure. Learn to negotiate, create, lead, analyze, teach, build, or organize. The exact skill matters less than the principle behind it. Become unusually good at something that matters, but talent by itself is never enough. Plenty of gifted people simply cannot be trusted. They might be smart, imaginative, or highly capable, yet they vanish the moment things get difficult. They make commitments and then break them. They get defensive when someone criticizes them. They walk away from responsibility whenever the work becomes uncomfortable. Being dependable is what makes ability actually valuable. Picture two people with roughly equal talent. One is gifted but unpredictable. The other might be a little less skilled, yet they always show up prepared, steady, dependable, and willing to finish what they start. Over time, which one becomes more valuable? Almost always, it is the one people can count on. That is because real, rare value comes from combinations: skill paired with discipline, intelligence paired with emotional steadiness, confidence paired with humility, ambition paired with patience, creativity paired with reliability. That combination is what makes a person hard to replace. This same idea applies to relationships too. A valuable person is not just someone who offers entertainment or attention. They carry qualities that genuinely improve the lives of people around them. They know how to listen without rushing to judge. They stay calm while everyone else panics. They keep things private. They can speak the truth without being needlessly harsh. They can support someone without becoming dependent on them in return. These traits are rare because they demand self-control. And self-control is something you build through repetition. Every time you resist a bad impulse, keep a promise, push through hard work, take criticism well, or stay calm under pressure, you are building trust with yourself. Over time, these small habits become part of who you are. You stop needing to perform confidence because your consistency creates it naturally. There is one more piece to this. Build your own point of view. Do not turn into a copy of everyone around you. Learn from others, but think for yourself. Read widely. Watch people closely. Study the patterns. Question what everyone assumes. Train yourself to notice what others miss. Once your thinking becomes original, what you offer becomes much harder to copy. This is really what separates genuinely valuable people from those who just look valuable on the surface. The truly valuable person carries something underneath that surface. Their knowledge cannot be downloaded in an instant. Their judgment cannot be copied overnight. Their discipline took years to build. Their character was proven through hard circumstances. That kind of value can never be faked through appearances alone. And once you become someone who is hard to replace, you stop needing to chase people for recognition. You can walk into any room without begging to be seen, because you already know what you bring with you. You can leave places that undervalue you because you trust yourself to create value somewhere else. You can say no because losing one opportunity no longer terrifies you. Your goal was never to make people afraid of losing you. Your goal is to become someone whose absence naturally leaves a gap because what you contributed was genuinely meaningful. Become rare through your skills, disciplined through your habits, dependable through your character, and independent through your thinking. And your worth will no longer depend on how loudly you have to announce it. Eventually, you reach a point where you realize your value is not measured by how much you give, but by what happens the moment you are no longer around to give it. This is where a lot of people get it wrong about stepping back. They think pulling away means playing games, ignoring people just to make them jealous, or disappearing so someone will come running after them. That is not real power at all. Real power is much quieter than that. It is simply the ability to leave situations where you are constantly undervalued without having to beg anyone to see what they are losing. When people can disrespect you while feeling completely certain you will always stick around, your presence starts to feel guaranteed to them. And once something feels guaranteed, people usually stop questioning its worth. This is exactly why your absence can sometimes say more than your words ever could. Picture someone who is always fixing problems for everyone around them. They pick up every call, do every favor, listen to every complaint, and make themselves endlessly available. Eventually, people stop seeing any of this as a gift. It just becomes part of the background. That person is simply always there. so no one ever stops to ask what their presence is actually worth. Then one day they stop, not with drama, not with anger. They just start being more selective. They stop jumping in to fix every problem. They stop over-explaining themselves. They stop running after people who never give anything back. And suddenly everyone notices the empty space they left behind. It is not that walking away magically creates value out of nowhere. That value was there all along. Constant availability had simply made it invisible to everyone. But there is an important line here. Do not pull back in order to manipulate someone. Pull back because you have finally recognized your own worth. If someone keeps disrespecting you, you do not need to threaten them with leaving. You do not need to warn them that one day they will regret it. You simply decide your energy belongs somewhere it will actually be respected. This takes real emotional independence. The hardest part of walking away is usually not the physical distance. It is the desire to be understood before you go. You want the other person to admit they were wrong. You want them to acknowledge your effort. You want an apology, an explanation, or at least some final proof that you mattered to them. But sometimes waiting around for that recognition is exactly what keeps you stuck. You cannot force someone to value you simply by explaining your worth to them. If they have already made a habit of taking you for granted, more explaining may just give them another chance to brush you off. Sometimes the loudest statement you can make is simply a change in your behavior. You become less available. You stop feeding a one-sided dynamic. You stop offering unlimited access to your attention, and then you keep living your life. This is where a lot of people fail because they pull back physically but stay emotionally tied to the person. They stop reaching out but spend every day checking whether that person has noticed. They leave the relationship but keep watching social media to see if the other person misses them. They go quiet but secretly hope for a message. That is not freedom at all. You are still being controlled by that same person, just from further away. True detachment begins the moment you no longer need a reaction from them. You stop caring whether they come chasing after you. You stop needing them to regret losing you. You stop requiring their approval before you can move forward with your own life. Your attention shifts back to your own goals, your own growth, and the people who genuinely value having you around. This is the final shift, moving from simply being free to actually becoming valuable. You stop handing yourself away without a second thought. Your time becomes selective. Your skills become worth something. Your standards become clear. Your attention becomes intentional, and your presence becomes meaningful because it is no longer guaranteed to just anyone. But remember, becoming valuable does not mean becoming arrogant, selfish, or emotionally distant. It means understanding that your life genuinely has worth and treating your time, energy, attention, and relationships as if that is true. You do not need to make people chase after you. You need to stop chasing people who have already shown you they do not value what you bring to their life. When you can walk away without begging, stay silent without seeking revenge, and keep growing without needing anyone to regret losing you, you have reached a real level of independence. Your greatest value shows up the moment you no longer need to convince anyone of it.